Hi, how are you? So sorry it's late. I still haven't got all this new video stuff organized, but I'm glad I could get on. I'm going to share it whether there's a bunch of people who were disappointed and left or if they will still show up. That would be awesome. We are going to be making the Teepee card, and I was playing with a different one already this afternoon just to show you that it's adorable and it's cute. Hi, Vicki. So glad you could join us. I'm going to have to tip this so that you can see my workspace. And it's going to be a little hard for me to see comments, but we're going to go for it anyways. If any of you did manage to read what to have available, I am going to be printing and putting this online so that you will be able to make this Teepee card over and over and over again using the instructions. But if you're working along with me, you needed to have 3 cardstock 4-inch squares. So just with regular cardstock for a base background, you cut 4-inch squares, and we need 3 of them. That's fairly simple and easy to do. So hopefully some of you did have a chance to get some of these ready. When you're doing a 4-inch on 12 by 12 paper, it's usually quick, simple, and easy using a 12 by 12 to cut 3 of them in one length. With that done, I'm just going to tip that down. The top of my head is gone, but that is fine. I'm going to actually pull it in even closer since I can. There, how's that? Doesn't matter if you can't see me, but you can hear me. We are going to then take these and we are I'm going to read part of it right from my sheet because then you will be able to understand it all. Hi, Jean and Jan. So glad you could join me along with Vicki. Now, I do not have a scoreboard. If you do, you can get it out. Otherwise, I use just the scoring tool, and I put these on a diagonal from point to point, and I'm going to score them from one point to the next, and you will do that to the 3 of them. Just make sure the points are in the groove for scoring. As you can see, I scored from point to point. Like I said, it's going to be a little harder. I'm just going to pick up something that fell over there. I have a few things on the floor from when I came home from Florida, and I'm always kicking things over at this point yet. Hi, Linda. Moses Lake, Washington, Austin and Spokane and Wyoming. Whoa, we got a great group of people from many places. So we were at the scoring point. So from point to point on the cardstock. This is where if you decide that you want to have a colored cardstock and then go with matching prints, that's super. I just happened to pick white for today's. And I also have a burnishing tool. Hi, Jenny from Wisconsin. Super. So glad you can all join me tonight. So basically we have scored these. And what I want you to do is fold them over and firmly burnish so you have a nice crisp seam. There's the 3 of them. If your scoring was just a little bit crooked, you can tell and just line them up before you firmly do your burnishing. And like I said, we're going to do the 3 of them. So the other thing that I posted that I was wanting you to do. And I've pre-cut mine, but I'm going to show you what I did and why I did it. When I did the original card, I cut 3 prints, and I used this pretty floral print. And just so you know, I am using Prima's Amelia Rose, the A4 8.5 by 11 paper. Hi, we got Darcy from Oregon and Debbie from Louisiana. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Hi, Sandra. Anyway, what I wanted to show you, because this might also change what you would like to do, I want you just to make notes if you have specific patterns with birds or something that you want facing the proper way. Once we put our base together, what I want you to take note of with your print when you're cutting them. So maybe put together your white section or your base and then cut. I kind of had some really cute little birds, and when I went to put them on, they weren't necessarily facing the way I liked. So what I'm going to do this time, it gives you an idea which way they should be facing. So what I did was I cut a sample of the half-cut squares that we have. And if you know that you want your pattern going this way, I then took this. I'm just going to move that back a bit. I'm going to just move my white over. I'm using the same paper again. And this is where I have this beautiful bird, and I wanted it to be on the very front. So what I did was I'm taking the triangle and I put it that my bird and my flowers are positioned exactly where I want them. And I traced it. So now the other thing I'm going to show you. So rather than cutting 3 3/4 and doing 3 print squares, I took a sample of the actual diamond, and I now have traced 3 on here. Now I'm going to tell you why I traced 3 rather than cutting 4, because I'm going to open this. And here's where they're going to go on the inside and the outside. And these are there. And this is where I have the fold over. And I put the different color, and I kind of like the print with the other print. And on the front, I have print on print. And I decided that for this one that I'm making with you, I would prefer to have this down there also, so that I have the 2 different colors. So basically, and I also decided to put this color inside. So it just means that you need a different quantity of the different prints than going with the one and not having the options. So my suggestion then, like I said, is we are going to make our base out of white. And then if you want to change your option of where you want your prints to go, you still have that option. So I'm going to set them aside. So those that are using something standard and going with all the same, you then are going to have 3 of the 3 3/4 squares. You are going to cut these in half instead of just scoring and burnishing. You are going to cut them. And the same process is to put them in your cut board and go from the same as we did with the scoring. Going to go from point to point, and we're going to cut them. So if you are working along with me, take the 3 of them. Now I made 4, there's an extra. And if you want to go back and change what you're doing, you can at this point yet. And I showed you how to grab and specifically cut. Yeah, so this one has a bird, that one has a bird. And the one that I already cut doesn't have a bird because it's going on the front, and I have a decorator piece for that. So I just thought I would share that. So If you're doing it originally with everything the same, then you have your pieces. Now, the other thing I'm going to tell you right now, just in case for altering down the road and making changes, if you notice, once I did this one, I decided that I wanted to mat it in black. So basically the black I could have put on, I will add this also to your instruction sheet. If you want to do a mat, I will put to cut the black at 3 3/4 and do your squares and cut them. And you then will make a smaller print to add your prints later. And I would guess that's probably a 1/4 inch smaller. So you would be doing them at 3 1/2. So 3 1/2 in the print, 3 3/4 in the mat, and then your original squares. So let's just take a quick minute, and I'm going to move over my white pieces that you have and you've done your cutting, your scoring, and your burnishing. On the sheet, the way it reads, we're going to keep it easy. I'm just going to give me a second while I kind of peek and see. Vicky, hi from Minnesota. Hope you ladies are trying to do this along because you'll have a really cute card when we're finished. And if you want to catch up, it isn't that hard to do. 3 4-inch squares, scored and burnished in half. And the print paper is 3 3/4, 3 of them. And I also needed you to do 2 1 1/2-inch squares in a print or an accent, whichever you decide. And those you are also going to be cutting in half. So with this all kind of set aside, what I want you to take then is, what we want is 2 of them. And when you put them together, you have the diamond, or the triangle is what we're looking for. So I'm going to lay them down. And I'm going to just take a small piece of clear Scotch tape. Now, originally on my thing, it explains the valley folds, so they're popped up, so that they are popping up this way for folding. As you can see, they will be popping up this way. And we're going to lay them flat though, and you're going to match the top and bottoms best you can. Got one, this one, there we go. I'm just being really picky. There we go. And we're going to take a little piece of tape and we're just going to tape that down. The reason we're taping it is so that this holds together. Now, if you don't want your tape to be underneath, it doesn't show anyway, so I'm just saying tape it. It'll work out fine. Then we take this one, and what we're going to do is where the seam is up and down, I'll hold it up so you can see, and you can see the score marks. We are going to glue this one with the score part up, and we are going to line up, and we are going to glue not on this section here. You're going to glue across and up and around and a little bit through to hold this together. I absolutely love my Beacon 3-in-1 glue. Now, if you don't like to freehand stuff, sorry about that, go back. I just kind of wing it sometimes and I forget, I better tell you. If you want to hold this, turn it over and draw a line, then you can put your glue in the appropriate section. So now I know exactly where to put it and go all the way around. So sorry I had problems getting that video started. They had an old previous way to run it and I absolutely loved it. It started instantly all the time for me, and now they have a new one. I don't know what they upgraded or what the advantages are, but it never starts when I want it to start. It's frustrating. So you're matching your lines and your lines. I have to slide that just a little. There we go. When you use liquid glue, it gives you the option to slide things a little bit when you use a tape runner, it's pretty set in its ways. And there's where my line was, so it's perfect. And you have the base of your teepee, and it looks fabulous. Yeah, now we're just going to fold. You basically have your teepee, and this is where it folds in and crosses over. And it's really cute. You could be cutting, somebody tried a 4.5 inch and it makes a bigger teepee, but you then do not have a standard envelope that it will fit. So if you go to the 4 inch like we are working with, apparently when we lay this all down, it should fit. Yeah. Then you're still working with some of the standard envelopes that you can purchase. Now, this is where your base is so easy and it's done. If you have any questions along the way, please type them in. Hi, Marilyn. And I'll try and just peek once in a while to see if there is any questions. So with your basic teepee, this is where I want you now. Either we are going to, I'm going to show you the picture. I've done nice pictures for you. So this is where you glued. Now this is where it shows the 4 panels. And then you're actually going to put the little ones in there and the 4 big ones, and we flip it over and do the other 2 and the 2 on the bottom. This is where I want to stop you at this time now. And this is where I'm saying, this is at the point where I'm going to grab mine, which is done so you can see. This is where we put the color and the 2 little ones, and the color and the 2 little ones. And this is the inside where you now can trim it or decorate it and also put a verse inside, which is cool. I want you to grab and decide at this point, though, this is where I have my print and my print. But I think it would really be fun. Like I said, I'm going to, yeah, and I decided to change the inside. So you don't have to do it all the same. And like I said, I would like this cute little accent piece on this side. So I need to change this one color-wise and make this the front. So with that in mind, if you haven't already cut and done all yours, and the other thing to remember at this point, as soon as all these pieces are organized, if you like to do either the matting, your option was to cut the extra pieces and mat with the 3 3/4 and make the print 3.5. And you just cut your squares and then cut them. So what I have now, I have my pieces, and I have all my pieces here. The next thing though, if you like to do inking, get your pieces and do all the inking on your pieces before you decide to put them on your base. It gives you a nice, especially if it has a white, where it's white on the sides, it's nice to tone it down just a bit. Gives you a bit of depth and dimension when you do this. Like I said, I hope some of you are actually playing along. That would be great if you have a finished product when we are done this. So now I just want to double check, because I made sure that when the panels are done, that I wanted my cute, there they are. There's my little bird facing this way and my little bird facing this way. So these are the 2 that aren't going on the front. And like I said, if you have to fold it so you can see what you're doing, this is where I'm going to put my front. So basically, I want my 2 pretty birds on these panels, and I know where to put them. There. So there's my birds. So they will be facing the proper way. If you have paper that's just miscellaneous, florals all over, and nothing's predominant to make it look like it's right side up, or you haven't got a choice, it makes it a lot easier. Hi, Nancy's now joined us. So all you have to do then is either use easy paper that has no ups or downs or sideways, and you can put these together really quick. I just took a little more time before I started because I knew from the first one that I wanted my birds just facing a little nicer. And make sure you center them. So there's the one, just has a little ridge of white. There's so many things you can do with these cute little cards. And theme them the way you like. This is another thing, you could be actually using scraps. If you don't cut the squares, you would only need pieces this big to manually cut each of the triangle pieces. That would be a great way to use your stash. There, that's perfect. And like I said, I'm going to just go like this, and I know that this is my front and that's the accent piece. So I'm going to put this one in there. I'm just going to open it, and it's on this side. Like I said, this I didn't even figure out until I had went to put my prints on, and some of them weren't quite as nice with the birds facing the way I liked them. And this one I didn't bother making sure I had a bird on it because it's going to be covered with the sentiment and the accent on the front. Now, as I told you, I decided that I cut some extras of these instead of doing everything in this print. This is where, like I said, you can decide once you get making these, you can decide if you want to accent different. I just really like the look of that. So I'm going to get the glue ready for this. As you can see, this card is going together pretty quick because all the squares were cut and all you did was cut them in half into triangles. It does go quite easy. I just made it more difficult by picking more prints and more papers, and you just have to think a little bit more. And like I said, the little ones, same thing. I didn't cut this one yet. The little 1.5 inch, there was 2 of them. And you're going to line up your 2 points. And it's very hard because it's so tiny, so firmly push down. Or if you want to draw a line and then use a ruler and use your scissors to cut. Whichever way is best for you, and do the inking on your edges. So with this, I'm now going to take the 2 of these. That one fell off already. So on this front piece, we are going to have this. And like I said, yours could be done all in flowers across the top with the accent pieces below. Or it could be all the same print. This is where you can do anything you like. Yeah, I didn't even really look. If you like the white down there, it could be an accent in white. Just so you have so many options to do so many things. I actually watched a couple videos on this, and there was a couple people that did different things, and one did one panel in front, one behind, and I played around with it and just taping the 2 together to hold them to put the other diamond or the other square on the front. Just works so much easier than anything I looked at. This is why I like sharing after I figure things out. Okay, so on the next part, this is where it tells you once you have your papers all done on this side, the inside of the card. Like I said, we can decorate here, and we are going to put the finished pieces down here, the little ones, and we can do the verse and add a little accent or anything you like. Now this is where I said I decided to put a different color on the inside than the print that I had on the outside. So you don't have any questions? Hi, Marlene. Hope that you give this a try. It really is cute. For anybody that's coming in late and you can't rewind at this point, I don't think, you'll be able to rewind when it's totally finished. And you will also be able to print the instruction sheet. When we are done, I will copy it and add it to the comment section so you can print your own. I always write them on 8.5 by 11 paper so that you can just save it to your computers into a instruction file and print it on 8.5 by 11. And you can start your own little books with instructions on anything that I share with you. So there's the top panels, inside white, and I have my two little pieces yet. Like I said, I'm working with the Amelia Rose Prima collection. It's the A4 pads that are 8.5 by 11. It had such pretty prints. I decided to do this one for a birthday because I have a birthday coming up. So the flowers and things that I'm using are perfect. A teepee's even cute for a guy if you would do it in all the fun browns and beiges and greens and types of papers that are available. And I'm sorry my head's cut off. I just prefer that you can see my workspace. So basically there's the inside and the same thing, fold over. Now for my closures, we probably have them. I'm not sure if we have any in at the Rubber Buggy store, but I found some dollar store circle Velcros, and I am just going to put a little Velcro dot to hold this together. And I find by putting the two of them together, if you haven't got Velcro and you have the magnets, you could be burying the magnets underneath the paper on the corners where you need them. This is where it has to go for sure. So this is where I put the two together and they're sticky on the sides. So I'm just going to stick that. Yeah, when I reach behind, I have my garbage back there. There we go. But if you have little Velcro that you can cut squares out of, that'd be great too. I just happen to have these and press down firmly. So basically, we have our TP section and it looks really, really cute. Now, for your decorations, I'm just telling you that at this point, you can do whatever you like. You can add lots. Just remember, if you are mailing, you still want to keep this fairly flat. Like I said, you have to just be careful with the Velcro. Yeah. I guess you could even fold it this small to put it in an envelope too. But if you go too wild on your front cover, then be prepared to pay a little bit more for thickness and weight. I'm just going to show you. This one I didn't even finish. I thought I would just give you some ideas. Okay, this one is not all glued down. I wanted to leave it so I could show you about the matting and stuff. I decided at last minute to do that. Here's where mine opens, and this is the front. So for this one, you do not even have to just put decoration on the finished part. you can go outside the lines. It will open and it still will fold down, that you can put it in an envelope. So for this one, I cut a ring and put a few stones on it, and I would like it to go outside. And I'm going to glue this one on because I do know this is what I'm doing. Now, that's actually a trick if you want. I folded some tape and folded it so that I could finish these and tape them on. And then if you make mistakes or change something, that's a cool way. So each of these pieces will come off at this point. I'm going to glue this one so I can finish gluing. Excuse me. I'm going to add the circle and the pretty trims that I did put together in a cluster. And this way we can know exactly where the placement is if I actually glue it. There we go. There. So what I'm going to do, I actually also took some of the paper, and if you love fussy cutting, I cut a whole bunch of flowers, the main one at the back, and in order to pop them up, I put some cardboard in there for height. And I like to finish some of this first because I'm going to bury the stem from the flowers. And I also slid the needle portion of this little pin down in behind that went in through the cardboard. The same thing, I fussy cut. You can see I have I layered a few things. And I layered on this side the little bird and another flower. And the flowers are here. And my little tip is to get wire, and I make my own little runs by turning them around and sticking them in. And I found a butterfly. So this is the little accent. And I decided that it's going to go. I only put beads on the sides where it's going to show. So I just have to glue at the top and bottom for now. I'm just going to put a little bit. I'm going to set this on, and then I will pick it up again and put it on the other section. Just so that I spin it, it has to be, there we go, over. Okay, I'm going to turn it around. And now right here, I do not want to put glue on the outer part that is not going to be touching the paper. So over here and here. So almost where I left the stones, I don't want any glue. This is where if I can hold this and hold this straight, I can take my pencil. Let me just get it straight here. That sits good. If you turn it over, I'm going to lay it down then, and I'm going to grab my pencil. Just a second. Hi, Elizabeth. Okay, I marked it with pencil. I drew with my pencil where I do not want glue. So I can see my triangle. I do not want glue out there. I only want it up here on the high point and down there. Okay, I'm going to open it now. This is where I can lay it down, and I'm just going to take a second and hold it because the glue is only on the top and bottom of this. So it'll be nice just to hold it a little firmer for a few minutes. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute. For this other card, I went totally a different way, and I have a cute little stamp that says happy birthday, and it came in layers, and I really like the accent piece on here. So I decided, like I said, your overflow on the edges is absolutely fine. It still will close and open and do what you want. I think the fun thing on this, I'm going to pop up this centerpiece. You could be adding ribbon, you could be adding brads, tying little bows. I actually have some gel dots and some beads and things. I have some half pearls that might look kind of cute on this. So I think I will leave this sit for a minute yet. I don't know if you can find them everywhere, but I found some pearls that came in their half, and they're in a big thing, but I just cut them into rows so that I can add them. And I'm going to cut 4 of them apart. We were talking about things you can do. These, like I said, accents, you will be accenting according to whatever theme you are doing. There are so many gel dots out there today. There's pre-made stickers, flowers. Washi tape is another thing that's great. You could be putting a really pretty run of something. We could be doing more layers of matting and colors on the front only, if you want to leave the other sections plain. I'm just going to put this one, I have it all glued, so I am just going to grab a paper clip real quick. And I'm going to stick it so I at least can show you. There is my very pretty one that I did go overboard. And like I said, I like the pop of different color. And inside, like I said, you have the option then to do trimming inside using the same papers or whatever and coming up with verses. This one I did Dear Friend. So at this point, I still could put happy birthday inside, congratulations, or with Dear Friend, your option is still open. I like using Dear Friend a lot. I'm going to set that one back there. And this one, I'm going to put some pearls on it. I'm going to keep this one just a little simpler. If any of you make cards, I absolutely would love if you would take a photo and add it to the comment section and share with us your finished project. I have a few more card things that I've been doing, and some are a little harder. I don't call this one a hard one. Once you have the instructions, I think this one is fairly easy. But I have some that I will do some tutorials in the near future. So if you just keep checking, I'll send out notices. And hopefully before I do the next video, I will send some notes and see if there's something I'm doing wrong or whatever I need to. Yeah. Now, this is where I do have more beads, and it might even be pretty to put a run underneath the two birds. I think that would actually be cool because I'm just kind of keeping it a little simple. I would need that many beads. This is why I say I love this string of beads. I've even used them on mini albums and layouts. I had brown beads previously, and they just are a little harder. Putting these on and knowing they're straight and flat is so easy. I kind of like that. It'll just be on the two back sides. I have to cut this run a little bit longer. I'm anxious if some of you do make this. I would love to see what themes you make little teepees out of. This is the kind of thing, you know, the way it sits up all by itself would absolutely be cute on a birthday table as a thank you. You could put the names on the front for a birthday party. Wouldn't that be cute? To do these all in fun birthday colors and put balloons and things on them and put the person's name and inside have the thank you verse. I think that would be cool. Like I said, you can just, there's so many options with these fun cards. And kids would love it. And little, if you went really masculine with more rustic teepee looking accents and brown and all that type of stuff, and putting feathers and things on them, they would look really cute even for a little boy's birthday party. This is when you just have to use your imagination. Like I said, I'm adding just a few things on the back side because my front I'm keeping pretty plain. Now, same thing again. I'm going to hold this, and I just have to stay away from the two corners here that don't get any glue. So the top two corners, no glue. And I did do pop-up sections. Yeah, my birthday person that this is for, she will love this. There, isn't that cute? And like I said, I put the little pearls on the side at the back where I have the pretty birds on the section of paper. Thanks, Jenny. Like I said, I really hope a lot of you people are, number one, going to come back and share with me. I absolutely would love to see, like I said, one a little overboard with decorations, one a little plainer. I think sometimes when you do cards for people that you know appreciate crafting and know the time and effort you put into it, get those good. Like my girlfriend, she won't throw away anything I give her. She would love this one. Kids that don't save things would still think this is cool, knowing I made it, but they wouldn't realize that, gee, I didn't put the effort in quite the same as I did on the other one. And like I said, look at the way they stand. Aren't they adorable? Like I said, you could have any kind of cool house party. Put invites, thank yous inside. Make real teepees for little boys with feathers and things. I just think There's so many options. And like I said, you decorate them to taste. You will get a sheet like this to print so that you can go back after you want to watch the video again, follow the instructions as we do the video. And if there's anything that isn't quite said properly and you don't understand, ask me, I'll help you. If there's something you want to rewrite, there's still space to write your own little comments. If there's something you don't understand on it, like I said, come back, share how far you get, show me your finished projects so everybody can come back and see it. Hi, Cindy. I do videos now regularly at the Rubber Buggy. So if you haven't joined the Rubber Buggy group, please do. I usually try and do things specifically Monday, Tuesday. I try and jump in if there's an open weekend time slot. I do anything from cards, layouts, mini albums. If there's something specific that you actually would love to have instruction on or help with, private message me. Put me on your Facebook like, or ask me in the group if I can help you out with something. I probably would get it quicker if I see private message. I would hate to miss something if you slot it in and it gets buried in a line feed. But like I said, I love doing these things. I love sharing. I like to share how I figured out something that was a little difficult and making it easy and making instructions that you can print. I have a whole album now where I have these and I print them. You can buy this insert things and the binders in the dollar store and just print them and slot them right in. You can take them out then and have them handy when you are redoing something for the 10th or 15th time. Like I said, this was a really simple, easy one. Not too much paper, not too many accents or overdue. You have so many options with this Teepee card. I want to thank everybody that took time to stop and visit. It makes it more fun for me. But like I said, I still at this point definitely would love to see any finished cards. And don't be afraid to share whether it's good or bad. There's going to be beginners and there's going to be those that go overload. I'm here for beginners right through to advanced crafters. And we just like to see and be inspired by other people's work. I want to thank you for joining me at the Rubber Buggy with the Teepee card. Take care, be safe, and see you soon.